goy. If you're watching sports, if you're joining the military, if you're getting excited about eating at Chili's, don't be a goy. Honestly, the Epstein, the emails, it did kind of mentally relieve some pressure for me to see them talking about goyim and to kind of understand more or less like what it actually is all about. You know, the people at the top, it's just you're a goy, you're a goy. Goy.
They all seem pretty stupid in those
Find
emails.
any goyim behavior in your life, such as joining the military, being poisoned by lead is pretty classic goy behavior. This is stuff you don't want to do. I don't care if there's an old person in your life that you respect who says, well, if you don't have direction, the one thing you can always do is join the military. And a lot of smart business owners are military guys. That guy, from him. When they start running the advertisements with white guys again, which they're already doing, and if they offer you $60,000 or whatever deal, whatever amazing, sweet, all-inclusive deal the military is going to offer you, don't take it.
Big problem with lead in the military, too.
Is there?
Yeah, because the barracks are obviously not being well maintained if there's mold, and they are also, a lot of them are old. I've seen a bunch of people have sent me stuff about that.
So sickening.
The black mold epidemic in the United States military in our barracks rooms has, in my opinion, caused the majority of the that we have. There's a lot of people that themselves that live in the barracks, and I think this is the primary reason why it affects you neurologically.
Someone on Twitter was like, our troops deserve to have lobster every day. Is that the thing they give you, if you're about to deploy, they give you like lobster?
That sounds like something they would do.
How stupid of a goy are you?
I got lobster.
As the wealth of this country was being destroyed to support the military-industrial complex, to support Israel, people are being genetically destroyed by depleted uranium. Just the most horrifying things you could think of happening. Jon Stewart is making fun of the guys who can't read. And that's the best, that's the hardest he can hit him with.
His father, he's a coach. He has an epidermis, covers his whole body. He's a mammal.
He would always make it seem like George Bush was operating with a 85 IQ.
Yes, we can.
You were not elected.
I hit a nerve.
The thing about George Bush, though, is that George Bush was an eloquent mother when he was campaigning.
Coming into Washington, D.C., and saying it is important to have an administration with a different attitude. We got to reject zero-sum politics, pitting one group of people against another and elevating the debate.
This inexorable, perpetual, soul-sucking, money-depleting, resource-depleting, manpower-depleting war in the Middle East that was sold to the American people on a lie, the lie that there were weapons of mass destruction over there, that was sold to the American people on a pack of lies. And the best thing, the hardest hitting thing that Jon Stewart could do was make fun of this guy's intelligence and make fun of how he looks like a monkey and how he can't read. Look up George Bush Jr. at the debates before he was president and tell me that's an unintelligent person. I don't think so. Yes, he's from Texas. Yes, he's benefits from nepotism. He's not a genius, whatever, but he's not.
Maybe I'm missing something here. I mean, we're going to have kind of a nation-building corps from America? Absolutely not. Our military is meant to fight and win war. That's what it's meant to do. And when it gets overextended, morale drops.
You know, Trump calls Biden Sleepy Joe. So I've been trying to figure out like what we could. He's not draining the swamp. He is the swamp. He's Donald Swamp. Old Swampy Don. What do you think? Swampy
I like it.
Don.
Swamp ass.
Swamp, old Swampy Don. Let's trend it.
Done. Hashtag done.
I was talking about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. This is a social contract. Within that contract, we have rights and we have duties. Now, one of the things in actual law, there is a time, and that time is now and has been for a long time, whereby if your nation enters into treaties are contracts between sovereign nations. That's what they are. These are agreements. We will do this for you and we won't do that to you. These are the agreements that are part of international law, which was really born in the 1700s under Vattel, and it's progressed to where we have now. Under the contract of American citizenship, we, according to the law, are not required to pay federal income tax, period. End of story. Most people don't know that, or you'll battle the IRS and be crushed in the process of exercising that right. Within the social contract as well, we have laws regarding treaties. So we have a treaty against genocide. We have treaties against torture. We have treaties against sex slavery and slavery. We have such treaties. These are the agreements. Now, if your representatives in your nation, in this case America, they represent us, by the way, so we don't have the benefit of having a dictator. If the dictator is carrying out policy of which we did not consent to and may even be injurious to us, then we don't have any criminal complicity with any criminal activity.
I don't think I would call our criminal justice system vaunted. In fact, what does anarcho-tyranny mean? Let's ask ChatGPT. Anarcho-tyranny means that if you're a law-abiding white man and you do something not quite so law-abiding but not anti-society, like collecting rainwater or driving a little bit over the speed limit or defending yourself, you get in trouble. In fact, you go to jail. In fact, your life gets sucked down the drain of a legal nightmare if you practice self-defense. Whatever it is, there are 400,000 laws that are there to be selectively enforced and not in your favor. Meanwhile, if you are roaming around playing bachata music and tagging everything, and you've got your pit bull off the leash out on the street, just throwing stuff around, just having a party, doing a tire fire in your backyard multiple times a year, nothing bad is ever going to happen to you. The only bad stuff that happens will be to white men who try to defend themselves, who try to live outside the purview of the state. Heaven forbid you ever try to go off grid. You'll soon be in a coffin.
This was a young man, a young Japanese man who was an ultra nationalist. Okay, start looking at the words, particularly the ones in headlines. This is what they're using to try to sway you without knowing that you're being swayed. It's the most deceitful thing. This is a satanic tactic. Okay, and you don't even realize how bad it is, because all you think when you read the headline is you think, oh, that happened there. They did that. Oh, gee whiz. I guess I feel this way about it now. He was an ultra-nationalist. Ooh, which just means that he loved his country. It just meant that he loved Japan. He had the samurai spirit within him, and he wanted to protect Japan. Literally, the most noble instinct to want to preserve your people, your country, and have some sort of solidity with your kin. He assassinated a political candidate, I believe, who was a Chinese Communist Party sympathizer. He prevented communism from entering into his country with a single stroke of an ancient weapon, which we have with us here today. Okay?
Here's how he did it.
Super sexy.
Like that. There's been a lot of bloodshed. There's been a lot of blood shed in the name of the preservation of freedom and liberty. But in modern times, to do this with an ancient weapon while being televised is poetry.
Anarcho-tyranny means that if you're law-abiding, the system is set up to keep you afraid and in a state of perpetual panic and enemy, so many rules that you lose sight of which rules to follow. Meanwhile, the tyranny is enforced by the unwashed masses, the tyranny of the protesters and the people that throw bricks and loot and set fires and do all this stuff and never get punished. Oh, he ain't never had nothing, y'all. Let him free, y'all. Meanwhile, you get one too many red light tickets, driving your Ram 2500 around, double clutching the Ram 2500, just to be for fun. Next thing you know, you're getting your head beat with a stick by Johnny Law. So yeah, I would push back against that term vaunted criminal justice system. I would point out that things are sort of functioning just the way they are intended to function right now. Black man stabs Derek Chauvin. That was in 2023. This is old news.
Oops.
But you wanted to relive it.
The only thing that sucks though is like even if Trump gave him a pardon, him being federal actually keeps him safer. Because if he went to state prison in Minnesota, he'd probably be a bigger target for death. What I will say is if Trump pardons him, what's gonna happen is his federal charges will be gone, but his state charges are gonna still stick because the governor's too much of a to pardon him. And that's at the governor level when it's a state charge. So he would still have to serve his state stuff, and he'd probably be in more danger.
Well, even if he was free, he'd never live like a regular life. He'd be chased down.
The thing that pisses me off the most about this is like, he did not get a fair trial by any means.
No.
One of the biggest things that was weird that no one ever talked about is that one of the people on his jury was a Black Lives Matter activist. And he lied in the voir dire, in the questioning, are you a member of the Black Lives Matter? The guy lied and got on the jury.
That should be a case dismissal, right?
Yeah, this is like absolute violation of his right. And the thing is with the federal case, so the FBI came in and hit him with like color of rights violations, but that was only based off of the state case. He did not get a fair trial whatsoever. Another ugly secret that no one talks about, he had a lawyer, right? Like a one-man team. The state brought in every like prosecutor in the area, and they all would like take turns. There was like 10 attorneys on that case, obviously because it hit so much media news on the state side. What they would do is they would file frivolous motions late at night to keep the attorney up. So every day he would come back in tired as hell, like just to wear him out.
That's like evil.
And it's crazy to me like how the general public doesn't know any of this. That's what they were doing to his lawyer, because he only had like one guy who's a good lawyer. But this guy was literally having to fight like 10 different attorneys every day, and they wore him down.
It sounds like he's got a problem that he's just tolerating. And I think that a lot of people, they persist in this state of allowing low-grade crises and emergencies to kind of foment up to a threshold that they're willing to live with them at. And I would urge people to audit your life and find those things that are, no pun intended, bugging you, and work towards eliminating them. A lot of the time we don't even realize how we're selling ourselves short and just lowering our quality of life by letting stuff like this go on, you know? You only have one life. Do you really want to spend it living with ants?
These people have no conception of what it's like to be a U.S. Marine like you or I and be out there fighting for the nation's safety, to be out there fighting for this country, our ability to eat McDonald's fast food products whenever we want, okay? Our ability to have reasonably priced gasoline. Salute to George W. Bush.
They don't respect the flag.
And I found that a lot of people in the rave scene, a lot of people in the plur scene, okay, peace, love, unity, respect, they don't respect the Stars and Stripes. They don't respect our armed services, okay? They don't respect U.S. Marines and Army Rangers, and that's a big no-no in my book. So this project's getting the blam hammer. Blam!